pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Guess we'll get started and approve the minutes for April.
Make a motion to approve the minutes.
I second it.
All in favor? Okay. Approve the bills for last month in May. So we did add a dump trailer this last month and a sewer pump service new pump.
Sewer new pump.
Yeah. For our water department, sewer department's looking pretty good.
Can you remind me why the Intermountain gas is in red? Is that because we haven't got the bill?
Because
Is
I
that
don't have the bill in time
Okay,
for
that's
these
what-
earlier meetings, so I kind of guesstimate it.
right? I just couldn't remember. Thank you.
I make a motion to approve the bills for, what is this, May.
I'll second it.
All in favor? Great. Go for it. So we have a Zoom meeting with Text My Government. So it is. Government, yeah. So that's basically about doing mass text to everybody in the city. We can send out texts and receive them, which we're finding that might be beneficial. So we're gonna find out.
I'm crooked for some reason and I don't know why, but
We all know why, Robin. You're supposed to say it.
Molly's been a little crooked.
Awesome. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yes.
Yes.
I think we're good.
Good to go? Awesome. How's everyone doing this evening?
Good.
Good. I'm just down here in Logan, Utah. It looks like we're finally getting sunshine and 80s, right? So that's kind of nice. Well, cool. Robin, I really just anticipate about 7 to 10 minutes. If that works for you, I can even keep it a little bit shorter. Does everyone have that packet in front of them by chance?
I didn't print the packet, I just figured you'd share your screen.
Okay, and that's fine. I can do that too. Just wanted to make sure. So, and I know this was briefly discussed previously. Is that right, Robin?
Yeah, we talked about it last month.
Okay, cool. So I guess kind of the concept of Text My Gov first and foremost. We started this just to help smaller communities kind of let everybody know what's going on, right? So as I met with Robin and I know Brian had jumped on for a minute there too, We kind of discussed, for you guys, it might be beneficial to send out general and emergency alerts, whether that's like a boil notice, whether it's like meetings, snow plows, low water pressure, that type of stuff. But then at the same time, the tool also allows for a little bit of two-way texting. So I'll go ahead and go through this a little bit here. What's the tool? It's really cool. So the outbound messages are just one way. You know, if you guys send out, hey, there's a water boil notice in effect, or there's a road closure or whatever, people won't be able to respond to that. But there is another part of the system where a resident can actually text in, like, hey, how do I get a building application, or how do I report a loose dog, right? And the system will actually automatically reply to them with the information they're looking for, or contacts, or whatever it is, right? The other benefit of the system is it also allows residents to report issues. So maybe someone sees the sign's fallen down, or there's a pothole, or a code violation. You guys kind of have control on the different types of things they can actually report to you guys. You can even set it up so it's kind of like a two-way chat function, where a resident can text in chat, ask their question, and then Robin or whoever in the office there can actually respond back to them and convert back and forth via text. So we found that really the tool is just really beneficial. A lot of people are using texting nowadays. Matter of fact, I think most people kind of prefer to text. So I'm just kind of trying to make life a little bit easier for everybody. I'll go ahead and just open the floor a little bit for a second here. Does anyone have any questions on kind of how the system operates, how you guys can get messages out, how people can sign up?
I think we're good.
I'm fine, yeah, I understand it.
No questions.
No questions? Okay, cool. At TextMyGov, we really tried to make the sign-up process for push alerts just as easy as possible. So we actually provide you guys marketing material. We'll create like different flyers here. So some nearby cities that are working with us, City of Shelley, we're working with City of Yukon, Sugar City, Ashton, Idaho, Chubbuck, Haber, and just name a few. And so we provide everyone marketing. Essentially, it's as simple as a resident just texting in a keyword. So for you guys, we can just do Basalt, right? And they would text that to a 5-digit short code number, and that would prompt them to opt in and sign up for the system from there. Another thing we can do is if you guys have a list of your customers' phone numbers and addresses, we can also easily integrate and import that into the system for you guys. So as you see here, there's the City of Shelley. They just kind of have one big group for everybody. They push out everything. City of Yukon has a couple different groups. You guys can kind of set it up however you'd like. Usually I'll see a city start with one group, and then if you want to break it out based on alert type or department, you guys can totally do that going forward. Kind of moving on to the two-way side of things. These are just some examples. A lot of times I'll have agencies set up the program on our back end, which we'll help you guys with, to kind of set up all the frequently asked questions you guys have in the back end and their corresponding answers. So the most common questions I can think of, hey, what are the office hours? How do I apply for a permit? Or how do I get hold of the code information, right? Or even something as simple as like, hey, what events are coming up? Or what's on the meeting agenda for next week, right? We can really kind of customize the program to you guys' needs there. Benefit of that is I think for smaller agencies, there's limited hands in the office, and sometimes people are trying to find information after hours. So if this is a 24/7 system, it'll automatically help your estimates out. To go along with that, the system can also take in reports, as I mentioned. So here's an example here on the right of like someone reporting a pothole. Essentially, we can make the system automatically ask a couple questions in response, like, hey, what's the nearest location? Give us a description, or even upload a photo. And then it'll take all this information and send it off to the correct people or whoever needs to receive that information to help resolve the issue. The last part to the system is, it's a little newer to us, but we find that a lot of agencies, typically when you guys are doing comprehensive plans or trying to apply for grants, sometimes getting citizen input is just a requirement. And so we actually created a survey tool in here too, where you can host, create, and also distribute your surveys. And it'll create all sorts of custom graphics for you to help at your meeting with give you an idea of what residency is. So, with that, that's kind of the system as a whole. I hope I went over it well enough for you all and you're grasping the concept. But again, I'll open up to you guys. What questions do you guys have in mind?
Anybody have any questions?
Sure.
I don't have any questions.
No questions.
I think you answered the ones we had, so. Because if we go over, we can go, which I doubt we would, but if we would go over our plan, we can add more text, right?
Yeah.
Can you have a payment system part? I know.
No.
That would be extremely
I think
convenient.
so, like, if we had a payment system, then yes, we could link it to it, right?
Yes. So you're saying if you guys had a payment system and someone asked how to pay their bill, if we could link it to that?
Yeah, right now we just do check, cash, or money order.
Yeah, so we could currently set it up like, hey, if someone says, how do I pay my bill? We can give them those options and some steps to move forward. But if you had that payment system up, we could actually just link them directly to it.
Yeah.
Another thing too, like if you guys have forms or applications or any documents you want to, link them to, you can upload those into TextMyGov and it'll provide them for you as well. That's a good question.
Anything else? Okay.
I have no questions.
No questions.
Awesome. Well, if that's it, I'll get out of your guys' hair. I know those meetings get busy, so I just appreciate you guys' time. And Robin, is it appropriate if I follow up with you tomorrow or Monday?
Yeah, let's do Tuesday.
Tuesday?
Yep.
Okay, I'll give you a call then. So,
Okay.
yeah. Thank you
All right,
guys. You have a
thank
wonderful
you.
evening.
Thanks, Jaden.
Bye. Yep, thank you. Bye-bye.
Can we open the door? It's a little
No.
warm in here. I don't know if anybody else feels it's plenty warm.
We'll act like we're not being private now.
So what's the cost of this?
So if we want more of those premium packages, the range was like 1,500 to 2,500 average
A month or a year?
to do a year.
Okay.
To do kind of just basic text, it would be like 1,500. He added more text and then some of the premium features, like we can upload some of our ordinances that get asked about a lot. So if they typed in like dog, it would send them to, they can read that ordinance and what they are supposed to do. So that, the way he had it set up and what he talked about was about 2,000 a year. So I suppose that's what it is.
And what's the main purpose of the text messages notification?
You know, one of the purposes is to communicate. Like last summer, we had like a drop in our water pressure.
Mhm.
And we were told to let people know it wasn't really a boil order, but use caution until it came back okay. And there was a lot of confusion. So something like that we could text out, like, hey, there's a boil order, or we had a drop in pressure, be cautious. It's safe for now, whatever.
And they have a way that they can capture the whole city.
not just those that signed up for it.
Yeah. So they can, through the postal service somehow, they can gather everybody's cell phone. Then you have the option to say, stop, I don't want this. Or they can opt to sign in themselves. So we'd probably put flyers out or whatever if we did it.
So yeah, on the
Or if
emergency
there's
ones,
like, we're getting ready to go out and plow, like, move
Yeah.
your stuff out of the way, we could
That's
do
a good
that.
idea.
Mhm.
yeah, those that are just like an emergency that, like a boiler, they just send everybody out, whether you sign them up or not. At that point, you could opt to get out of them, but
So it's a way to communicate for our small little town instead of just posting something up in the post office.
Until somebody goes over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but it does come with a cost. And
It's a good way to remind people in the spring to clean their ditch before it turns on, so there's not a lot of
Yeah.
problems like we recently had. Just stuff like that.
and it's linkable to the Facebook.
yeah, so the next item is
Oh, I'm
opening
sorry.
maybe a city Basalt
I jumped the
Facebook
gun.
page. Well, but I mean, it is part of the conversation, and we could just start with doing that.
No,
See
I
if that
think
helps.
I'm all for, because not everybody goes to Facebook.
Yeah.
I like Text My Gov. I'm all for it. I'm just gonna be forward and put that out there because I do think that we need a way to communicate with all of our citizens.
Yeah.
Right now, it's so hit and miss that we have no clue. Most people have no clue what's going on. And I love the idea of linking our ordinances so people can look it up. Because we are so little and we're only open those 2 days for those short, when people who are working and can't come in at those times, you know, maybe they can then plan or do something different to, you know, maybe they can get it through the app to find out what they need
I
to
can
know.
also use it like if somebody's behind and I need to hear from them, I can send them a payment reminder.
And that way there's a record of it.
I like the idea a lot.
You can also put out the the agenda,
Yep,
like on Monday for Thursday.
Yeah.
Might get a few more people down here.
and that's also why we wanna have a Facebook page too.
Yeah. I think there's some community service projects I'd like to attempt to do, and so we can use that to show what we're doing and invite people, things like that.
Well, I think it could make us feel more like a community too, instead of houses in a town.
There's a lot of people that do want to help out with community service stuff.
Well, or just know what's going on.
That's what I mean. I think it would bring us a more community feel.
Mhm.
And any texts that aren't used, carry over.
Oh, nice.
Every year.
So if you don't use them
I
all,
never thought to
then
ask that.
you,
I like that.
they
That's good to
go
know.
on to your next year.
So I guess I'm voting for the premium package where we can put our ordinance in there, because I really do like that idea.
Yeah.
Motion.
So I motion to do Text My Gov premium package with, we can put ordinance in there with it. And link it to our Facebook page that we haven't talked about yet.
We'll do it.
I'm not totally sold on it. I think it's a lot of money for apps that kind of do the same thing for free.
Like,
I think there's there's like the band app that the school uses for different things, and that's free. And it's unlimited on how many you can send out. That's an option. That's a free option. I'm just not sold on the price of it, especially where the first years you're going to be your most expensive. I mean, if we
and
had
it is a 3-year contract.
yeah, I remembered that. And I'm like, yeah, if maybe we had a pothole-free city and we didn't have a lot of other stuff that needs fixed, it might be worth doing. But at this point, I'm not sold on it, just for the fact that I think we have other options, and we don't even know how many people would use it.
Right.
So to jump in at that cost, I think it's not the smartest idea right now.
Well, Question on the band app, does it allow you to put documents up there that anybody can
Yeah.
access all the time, automatically, so it
Yeah.
automatically goes to that document?
Yep, you can search, you can, yeah. I mean, that's just one that I know of. I'm sure there's tons of
And the
other
school
ones.
doesn't pay for that.
No, it's available to anybody. That's just, I know the school put that out there as an option for.
So do you have to download the band app
Mhm.
to use it?
See, and there's people
There are a lot
that
of
don't
people
download that
download
app.
Yeah,
They're not
yep,
gonna
you
do it.
do.
And can we reach people who don't have the app?
I mean, it just goes through like a text message, so I don't know if you could just do it as a text. I don't know, I have to look into
Because I
that.
have been
don't know.
working at like collecting cell phone numbers that I can text in those
Mhm.
kind of cases. But to do like a group mass text, then any response I get back, everybody on that group will see the response.
Mhm.
So otherwise I have to go in individually,
Mhm.
copy paste to each person that wants those texts.
So if we choose not to do this, we need to find a secure app like this that we can use, because a lot of people are not gonna.
And I mean, we could sit on it for a bit, right? And possibly start the Facebook page, see where that takes us. Like, we can upload those ordinances and agenda and
Yeah.
stuff like that there.
And
Yes,
that's
people
good.
do have to go to it, but
So in the meantime, how are we gonna notify people of emergencies when they happen?
Well,
Because-
now, in a real emergency, 911 will do that, because they can geofence.
Oh, but I mean, like, what if our water drops low again?
Well-
We're supposed to do that.
Yeah, I mean, but on something like that, I don't know if dispatch will do that, but I mean, if you had a fire or something like that, 911 will
Right.
geofence and do that.
We're gonna talk to Firth and Shelley and see what they thought of it.
Does Firth have
I
it?
did not do it.
First
Just
hasn't
Shelley.
done it.
Just Shelley?
Yeah, Shelley, Icon, and somewhere else north.
Yeah, Yukon, I said.
Yeah. I don't know, I think we should just first find out, I mean, cause you have, like if, I know we talked about, oh, getting a notification if the power went out or whatever, but the power company does that. So, I think we should find out how many people would be interested in it or even use it.
So you could put a survey up.
You can put a survey up, yeah. You could do that, yeah.
Next water.
Yeah, but I think before we just were like, yeah, that's a great idea. I mean, I like
No,
the
I
idea of
think it's
it,
okay
I just
to
don't like
look
the
at it.
price of it. I don't know, I don't think it's something we gotta jump head first in
And how do you feel
until-
about it, that versus a website?
I'm fine with the website,
Because the website will cost about the same.
I guess you gotta find your demographic of people. How are they going to, what would they prefer, like the general, I don't know. That's why I'm just like, I don't know if we ought to jump in head first with it first, like, that's just my thought, I just don't know. I mean, it doesn't do any good to pay for it and then 3/4 of
Yeah.
everybody opt out of it. Because they're like, oh, I don't, like, oh, I get my
Yeah, some
information
people
from my
find text
neighbors
annoying.
or, yeah.
What do you
That is
think,
true.
Ken?
I think we kind of need to look at, see if there are other options and stuff, like you say, to just.
Well, I look at like First's website and it's really not updated very often. I mean, they do have their ordinances up there. So if people have questions, they can go there, but they have to go there where I do think more people would text in because it's right here
Mhm.
than going to a webpage. But
I think you're right, because human nature is people are not gonna do it. They're just not. Just look at, people have their phone in their hand all the time.
Mhm.
Most people, and I hate to say, we don't skew that young here. And so most people are not gonna go on Facebook.
well, and will they even respond to the text? Like, I mean, it is.
So I mean, if we have something urgent we need to get out, we don't have to do text by get, but we need to find something that can still reach every single citizen, because we can't have Brian go knocking on everybody's door.
You could.
Because
Explaining what the paper said.
Because it's true, you find out, you come to city council and all these things have happened, you're like, nobody told me.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, well, we didn't get to your block. Well, gee, thanks. I'll just sit out here in the cold and not know what's going on, and I've had that happen.
Yeah.
So wouldn't we have to have a website anyway? Because if he says he would link our,
He can link like a Facebook page to it.
so we'd have to have something other than
You
that.
don't have to.
To do
But,
our ordinances.
Like I can text from the back door from the app and it'll post to Facebook and send out the text all in one.
But going on about the Facebook, I really think we do need a City of Basalt Facebook page.
Which doesn't cost anything.
I think that's an excellent idea.
Are there drawbacks to having a Facebook page that we're aware of? I had talked to somebody who is on a board, and he just said they had one that was like an official page, and somebody tried to cause some problems because they didn't post regularly, like their agendas and stuff. And so if we missed one, like, are there laws that we
You're not
would?
required to post it on Facebook, but if you're gonna use it, yeah, you wanna try and keep up as best you can.
Yeah.
So why don't we do something like, kind of like,
If I happen to miss one, or it was late,
Yeah,
would
so
I
mean,
get
it's
in
not-
trouble?
You're not required to post it on your Facebook page, so it's not like it's illegal, but, you know, if
Yeah.
you're gonna do it, do it. But if you make a mistake, it's not like it's the end of the world.
Yeah.
can we say something like it's an unofficial page or something like that? Because they got I Love Fur.
Nobody will see that.
But somebody else runs that. It's not for. What's your opinion of the text? Mr. Old Man? Old Man Kremen Jr.?
I don't know, it's a lot of money.
How often do we have emergencies?
Right.
Exactly. You know,
Like-
for the most part, we got that bird that goes out and tells everybody what's going on. You can have some.
That one?
The fact that your wife giggles at that just, it says a lot.
You got something going on here, and before you drive across town, they know about it.
Yeah. I've had all the
I-
same
I
questions.
mean-
They approached me and I'm bringing it to
I just think the money's could be better spent right now on some other stuff. And by doing the other stuff, that opens up other things that we get in line for grants and stuff because we're moving forward on stuff, not paperwork. We're actually doing something better.
Okay.
Let's start with the Facebook page.
So for your minutes, just to
Well-
be clear, so we'd have Laura's
Yeah.
motion in there, and they would die for lack of a second.
Right.
And then you would probably want to do a motion to table it for further discussion once you get.
How do I put the second
Yeah,
in?
I
Because
don't
it
know.
didn't
It dies for lack of a second.
die.
And so then what do I say?
So then you probably want to just have a motion that tables text.my.gov,
I motion to table
table it
text my
for
gov.
further discussion down the road.
Further discussion down the road.
I second it.
Because we can't rely on somebody from one side of town telling people on the other. I guarantee you, there's plenty of people in this town who do not know what's
We
going on.
can start a Facebook page and start collecting people's thoughts and ideas on that too. And see what people
What do
think.
you citizens think?
Well, the other big problem you're gonna have is too many people aren't using online or text messages or anything.
Yeah, there's always that.
Yep, there are.
So
I mean, they're
that's a
few,
key
but-
thing.
Yeah.
It's also a lot of money for
Amazing.
a small town. You know, how well is it gonna work if you could do
Yeah.
something that's, doesn't cost anything and try that first before you.
A simple text system, I'm trying to remember who it was it, My Meeting, run by, who was it run by? Verizon or whatever, was what we used to Homeland Security. And we would just put it, we inloaded everybody's, in the department there, for each region and stuff, and down to each city and stuff. In there, we just said, all right, Oakland, you know, there's a fire going on, blah, 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 plan on doing this. and everybody get text message, okay, and that was it. There was no texting back to it or anything else like that. It was just for emergencies to get something out there. But it was part of the bigger My Meeting thing, which was a lot different. But there are the ones out, there are programs out there or things that are relatively cheap. If you're only doing like, 10 texts a month or even 5 texts a month, it's gonna be pretty cheap. And if you're not linking it to anything else, that will probably work better. Because I know a lot of people that are older don't want to put apps on their phone. But a text is already on there. So it's like Amberwood, you either ping, oh, okay, doesn't apply to me, delete.
So what if you did something like you broke up the city into like zones, like zone 1, zone 2, whatever, and you sent out texts?
That gets more expensive.
She just means, I think, in the cell phone.
In the city, so.
Yeah.
There should be a way in your cell phone, I do it as a coordinator.
So there is on Android systems.
Mhm.
You can set it up so that nobody sees all the replies that come back. And not that I'd necessarily be trying to hide anything, it's just, it can be annoying, because I've done it for church stuff before.
It very well can be.
When you start getting all these little emojis back and everybody gets it. So, but Apple doesn't seem to have anything that allows you to change that.
There should be a no reply option. That's all, you need just a no reply option. You're
I've
setting up
never seen
emergency
one,
stuff.
I've looked. But
What's your opinion, Brian? You haven't spoken up.
I think we both are like, you can see the
I'm
benefit,
torn.
but
I don't want my phone going off all night long because there's a pothole on
you'd
Or
rather
there's a
them come
dog
to your
that is-
door.
Or dogs.
I mean, they know where I live. They pound on my door anyway.
They walk in, whatever.
Walk in, yeah. So
Okay,
I don't know.
Cost versus use.
Yeah, it's hard to know.
Because $200 a month almost is a lot of money if you only use a text even twice a month. That's only 24 texts, and that's, almost $200 a month. That's a lot.
Let's try setting up a Facebook page.
Well,
Start with
I think you have to finish
you
what
have
you.
to,
Well, so you have a motion on the table to table,
Yeah.
you have a motion to table it.
Okay, all in favor?
Somebody has to second it, I think.
She did, Brittany did.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's right, I forgot she did. Okay,
and then
all
all
in
in
All in
favor.
Okay,
Okay.
all right, we'll move on. Resolution for auctioning stuff.
No, we've got to do
Oh.
Facebook.
I thought
We've talked about it, so I feel like we know what we're doing.
So I suppose to be clear, just do a motion to start, you'll have someone start your Facebook page.
Okay.
Have Robin start your Facebook page.
I make a motion that Robin starts our Facebook page.
How do you feel about starting a Facebook page, Robin?
It doesn't matter what I think.
But it does, because you have to do the work.
I'm,
She gets paid for it.
yeah, I have to
Do
do
you
what
foresee
everybody
us
tells me to do.
keeping it updated and
I'm pretty good at that kind of stuff.
I'll second it. I think it's a good idea, as
Okay,
long as nobody has a problem with us starting it.
all in favor? Let's give it a try.
Who seconded it? You did?
Me too.
Okay.
All right. Auctioning stuff. 94 dump truck. That's the big semi truck, is that what that
The
is?
pictures are on the phone if you want
Yeah.
to show people what we're doing. Guess I opened all
So there's 5 pieces of equipment there. I didn't we list 5? Yeah. I think they're surplus. This was an old mower.
Wow, how
Uh,
old is
What
that?
they mow with that?
Actually, he was using it up until they bought the new one that looks.
Wow.
About
Really?
the same condition.
I don't think
It's in a
anybody
little better condition because I beefed it up. This one, the 3-point is broken on it. Other than that, it runs.
It does?
It does. It's got like, I know it's worn out, but
Can you see it?
it's surplus. I've got one that's newer and running better.
So for auction, that means we're actually gonna try to sell it at an
Yeah,
auction.
I
Okay.
mean, and so just, I've talked to Blue Mule. We've got an auction that's gonna start on Saturday. If I can get all this up into his yard, minus maybe the galleon, cause
That's a long ride in Gallagher.
1 mile
Especially
an
when you got a
hour.
whole gas tank.
But he would like it in his yard. We could actually start selling it
Okay.
starting Saturday. It would end starts this Saturday and it end the next Saturday, I think. Or we could
Can't,
wait and get in the next one, which would be in June.
You know what?
he, have a poster board or a board?
It's
pictures
all
come out?
online,
Yeah, that's what I mean. So
Yeah.
can we just post pictures on it instead of trying to?
and that's what he said, the roller, where it might be difficult to move. That one he would probably do
You
that
pick
way.
up.
And then anybody that wants to view it would have to come here to view it. But if the other ones run, he would prefer to have it in his yard.
Wow.
This is the
But
roller.
that's the galleon roller.
I would not wanna drive that thing.
Is that the seat you sit on and
Lord.
drive it?
Yeah,
If it
Where's the
doesn't
steering
sell, we get to
wheel?
keep it there, right?
Park it at your house.
it is, and here's the thing about Blue
You
Mule.
get it, you take it.
It's highest bidder. So if all it gets is $50, it's $50.
We could
You can
scrap it.
set a
for more.
reserve as well.
With Blue Mule, I don't know, he didn't say anything about a reserve.
We'll just get rid
Then
of
we
it.
Did
need
you
to
want
find another auction that does.
Yeah, we
reserves.
could find another.
Do we have a machine to replace it?
No.
This doesn't have a gas tank.
This, technically, this
Hold it
needs,
hang with a siphon hose.
Well, that can be repaired.
it needs a lot of work to make it. The second speed in it is gone, so you're like at 2 miles an hour. And it is well used. It's I think it's a 1956. And it originally owned, well, I don't know who originally owned it, but Shelley used it until it was done for and then gave it to us. So that's
And
the
there it
roller.
sits.
So
So
do we,
would it need to be replaced?
We would like to replace it with a smaller one at some point, but not right
We
away.
have bigger fish to fry.
do we have titles for these other vehicles? Did you
The
make sure?
the mower and the galleon, I don't believe.
Yeah, the
we
mower
have.
and the roller, no, I didn't see any, but all these others. yes.
Okay.
But yeah, this is the 66 dump truck. It's actually, it works okay. The brakes are in need of repairs.
And you
It
can't
needs new
replace tires on these, right?
Well,
that my
you
understanding?
can, it's expensive to replace them.
There's
They got the
split rim.
Widowmakers, yeah, that's what.
Yeah.
Point is, in Blackfoot will do it, they've got a cage.
The bed is shot, it's a metal bed over a wood bed. And the metal is all rotted away.
You guys do realize that was the garbage truck for Basalt. For years,
Yeah,
Still is.
when Raritan's were the garbage men here.
yep. So, yeah, it runs, it drives, it's just getting to that point where it's becoming a liability more than maybe usefulness.
The biggest problem is with that truck is it's a hazard if you're running it down the road because it maxes out at 45 miles an hour.
Yeah, and it's still the original 66 bias ply tires.
They're
And
round and they hold air.
they're kind of round. Let's not call them round. This is the little Sonoma pickup.
This is the one with the hole in the floor.
Yep.
This is the Flintstone vehicle.
Yeah,
Flintstone,
this is the
that's-
one
yeah.
they
It's
call
optional though, the engine's kind of.
There is a street sign on the driver's side. Keep my foot out of the.
So you can wash the
So
interior
it's
out.
a bedrock truck that use your feet.
Yeah.
Optional, yep.
It runs, it does a pretty good job, but I think it's surplus. There's another, further on the agenda, there's more to talk about trucks, but this is the big plow truck. That's one of the county trucks. That dump bed actually is just being held there by straps and a chain.
And were you guys given this, or did you guys
It was given to
Given.
us from the
From the
county.
county.
And the bed, I think, came from Idaho Supreme, but there's no actual hydraulics on that bed. There's no hinges, there's no hydraulics. Yeah,
Is that it?
I think that was it. So yeah, it's too big for, and the maintenance on that engine, it's a big cat engine. I've got 10 gallons of oil in it and we haven't got up halfway on the dipstick. And it leaks just sitting there. I mean, it's a maintenance nightmare that's too big for the city. We could use something smaller. So that's the 5 things I'm proposing to get rid of. And whether we use Blue Mule or another auction site, or if you think if it's less than $500, we just call it scrap.
Well, so yeah, but less than $500, the mayor can just kind of direct it to maximize the return to the city. But, you know, typically the public auction is the way to go.
Okay.
Because that's obviously fair. And just remember, obviously, you guys can't buy.
Oh, shit.
I know.
I know you
I was
wanted to-
eyeballing the Freddie Flintstone truck.
Curtis, we can pull
Yes.
a Nancy Pelosi and Dianne Feinstein thing. I'll buy it and then I can sell it to you.
Oh, there you go.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know if we'll get a lot of money out of it. Like I
It's
say, I mean, if Blue Mule will let us put a reserve on it. I think the biggest, that big plow truck, it's worth more than any of the rest of it. And I would hate to see it go for $500 because I think that plow on it's probably worth a couple thousand. So I would hope that it would go more, and so maybe if they'll let us put a reserve, especially on that one.
But you said they don't?
He didn't say
Not
anything
sure.
about that. It's just,
I know
So-
prime time auctions will.
yeah, I know prime time well. So I can get with other auctions and see if we can't get them in there. I can talk to Blue Mule and see if he does
What's
a reserve.
Blue Mule and Prime Time, what's their rate?
And I didn't get their percentage, but
I know that Prime Time's pretty high at times.
yeah.
Well, the next thought is do you want to continue seeing it sit there if it doesn't
Yeah.
sell? I just say if it was free, just let it go and whoever buys it, buys it.
We could
Can the
decorate
city
the
just
wood.
sell it like on Craigslist?
Well,
It has
the
to be.
problem is because you gotta get a value then at that point, so if it's under $500, yeah, the mayor can say, maximize it, let's do the best we can. But then you got a lot of time and hassle into it too.
Yeah, anybody that buys this stuff will be required just to come and get it. We don't have to haul it anywhere or do anything like that.
Couldn't we also hold a community auction and then after
You
that?
can, but like the last one that Blackwood did, their leftover garbage trucks went for like $200 a piece. There was nobody there.
Well,
So-
that's where we say the minimum.
You know, well, right, but I mean, it's just a auction on your own, probably isn't.
Yeah, and little Basalt. The one guy interested in the dump truck isn't around right now.
And probably shouldn't be messing with it anyways. He's got bigger fish to fry there.
Could park it in front of his yard and start filling it up.
If the plow truck was repaired on the bed, would it be worth keeping around?
On what?
On the
For making the dump bed
dump
operational.
So I thought about that a little bit because it could be used for the community to, like somebody's cutting a tree down, and it was just parked right here, they put all their stuff in and run it down there to burn pile, dump it. That was a thought, so.
Cause I know.
Then
we
it
got-
is,
But it's got tires, it's
Stuff
gotta be
sitting around.
replaced.
Mm.
The brakes have issues.
Are you talking about the little one or the big one?
The big dump truck.
Big one.
Oh,
No.
the big one?
It's
No.
more maintenance than what this city wants to deal with.
Or the little one even, I guess.
The little one, yeah, you could put some money into it. I guess we could keep it.
Especially
But-
if, say, someone donated their time to build it.
We can. I know how to build a bed. I mean,
Yeah.
I could build one. I don't know. We just bought a dump trailer that will haul every bit that will.
That
Plus more.
one hauls what, maybe a yard?
The dump. Oh,
The dump truck.
The dump truck, well, the other day I had
Maybe 2
close to
yards.
4 yards in it.
4 yards.
It was a little
Did it
scary.
dump?
It did dump. Just,
I know the pump is all but gone on it.
yeah, the cylinder's in pretty bad shape. It did dump, but the trailer will actually hold close to 10,000 pounds. So that'll do everything that the city really needs.
Is there anything that you guys feel like we shouldn't get rid of?
No, I think it all needs to go to auction.
Okay,
Okay.
make a motion.
Motion so.
What are we doing here?
And just do a motion to authorize the mayor to direct it to public auction.
Yep.
Yeah.
Make a motion for the mayor to public auction excess equipment.
I second it.
All in favor? Okay,
Thank you.
so we'll get rid of it. Probably no reserves, just get rid of it. Maintenance report?
Doing good. I mentioned last month, we're going back to the lagoons. The lagoons are looking really good. They've cleared up from the winter. That ice over made them a little septic, nasty smelling. But the water's cleared up and it's going down, so that's what we want it to do. The mayor just helped me. We've flushed the line going down to Firth, so that was septic also. It was nasty, and I didn't realize we had to do that. But when we're done flowing to Firth, there's a valve to shut off and you blow it out with air. And it pushes the last of all that. It's been sitting for 2
You
weeks.
just put
and
your
it's-
mouth on the end.
No.
No. No.
I don't watch that.
The yards are looking good. I've been busy mowing. We're getting quotes out for the meters on well 3 that's not working. And I think everything else is functioning pretty good. We did get that new trailer. I'm waiting for license plates for it. I built a new hitch for the red truck so we can pull it. The bumper pull did not like that trailer. I had to straighten the bumper.
On an empty trailer?
On an empty trailer. So I'm a little dubious as to whether the hitch is going to be much better, but
Well, we might have a
It's pretty
solution to that
yeah,
problem.
so, but I think things are running pretty good. I got mowers up and going and working.
And the streetlights look great.
Oh, yeah, we got
Oh,
the
yeah, the
streetlights.
streetlights are up if everybody's noticed.
Several comments
yeah.
on that.
I've
I
noticed.
got
One
one.
at my house actually shines now.
They are a little different.
Yeah, they're kind of a long light instead of round.
Yeah,
So there are some roads that I noticed, like our
depending
side
which
road,
direction you go.
835.
Yeah.
You come around the corner and look down the road and it's pretty dark because they all go the other way.
What was our savings? $1,200.
Well, it's supposed to cut our bill like in half.
So, yeah, it seemed like in 5 years they'll all be paid for. And what did we pay? 5,000.
Yeah.
So,
Haven't paid anything yet.
Even better.
Haven't seen a bill.
but they look nicer up there, and they'll be cheaper to run.
Okay, city business.
All right. I'm gonna try to make this fast. Okay. I got an email the other day and I've been wondering because normally in December I hear from the guy that wrote all the city software. And I got an email that he has been sick and he passed away a couple weeks ago. And I actually had this conversation with him one day. I said, so is it just you? Are your kids taking over your business? And he's like, no, they're smarter than that. So when he goes, there's no updates. There's no, if that computer crashes, there's,
You're back to doing it by hand.
yeah. So I'm not saying we have to do it right now. We need to be prepared that we're going to have to upgrade and replace that system. in the next year or two, I think.
Do you have one in mind?
Nope. I know the last auditor, Teresa was her name, had mentioned one, because she had other cities that used the same system, and they would be in the same boat. So I'll probably ask the current auditor if he has an opinion. So, because a lot of the big software out there that's written for cities is very expensive and way out of our budget. That's why I'm sure Basalt went with this guy. He was local. It was inexpensive. It's old school DOS system, but it does do the job.
Do we know what Firth uses?
They just got one, didn't they?
I don't know, actually.
Because I know he didn't have one.
They were
They
doing it all by
were
hand.
questioning me what we had,
Wow.
but I know they've been looking into it.
So like the Urban Renewal Agency in Blackfoot, they use just a QuickBooks Online.
And,
It's like
and
$99 a
what I
month,
understand though is that they really don't like QuickBooks for cities.
but- Yeah, because the Urban Renewal, because it ties into Blackfoot's, and that was what they used because it was cheaper.
Mhm.
It wasn't a full municipal. Anyway, we'll have to look around, but Woodfly would probably have a good suggestion.
I'll ask some of the other cities that I deal with, what they're using, if you want.
I mean, this
But
will
that'll deal
keep
with that
going
part of
as
it.
long as the printer and the computer keep going. But I know even to change out the printer, he told me you'll have to call me so we can make sure that it's programmed to the system. And that's a Windows 7 computer. I mean, they've got that, I'm sure, when they did the water upgrade. So,
Okay.
and let's see. We applied for a grant through Blue Cross. We have a few steps we have to do. So the mayor and I will be attending, there's 2 meetings in Boise, and then the rest are webinars that we can do. And Laura helped me with the help of her husband answering all the weird questions and gave me some good BS answers.
Yeah, what we did is we wrote it was for the health of the community, so we wrote it from the viewpoint of getting a truck.
Ah.
And I focused, so it's very road heavy of how our citizens walk on the roads. So, yeah. And then we're gonna apply for a 5,000 one, aren't we? Is
Yeah.
it to the 12 or
Mhm.
something?
Yeah, I was gonna say that
Oh,
too.
sorry, go
Yeah,
ahead.
so that one's 20,000. This one, there's another one, 5,000 again through Blue Cross with different little things. Anyways, so we're gonna work on that too. Don't know if we'll get it,
They
but
also
we'll
have
try.
one that the mayor walks like every day for.
Yeah, I think that's part of the Blue Cross. That might be the 5,000
That
one.
might be the 5,000, I know.
Yeah, I can't remember what
Firth just got the.
Yeah, Perth got the 20,000 one.
Did it say what we had to do for the 5,000 one? Like what?
It
The
did.
20,000 one, they want you to, it's very specific that they will do stuff for you.
Yeah.
That's why we wrote it, it's a truck we want. I'm making it evident we want a truck.
Is that for like that sidewalk you're talking about? Is that what you mean by a track to go around the town?
Truck, sorry.
To help
Truck.
us
Oh, a
take
truck.
care
Yes,
of
sorry.
our roads.
I'm sorry.
And
It's okay.
maintain.
Okay.
Yeah. So the next item is purchasing a truck. And don't have to have an answer tonight. You can ponder this. We've talked about purchasing a new truck. And we 3 have been looking at trucks. So something to think about. How much do we really want to spend? Do we want to buy a new or used truck and take on whatever we find that way? It might have higher miles, might be good miles, I don't know. Or something that we discussed was, can the city finance a truck? So I did look into that. I asked Garrett about this. Technically, you have 1 year that you can finance something in, but I did go talk to the Bank of Commerce. They said they do this for Shelley all the time. So basically, we would say, okay, we want to purchase a truck. We want to pay it off in 5 years, is the number we used. So they would finance that truck, and then 11 months, they would give us the payment that would pay it off in 5 years. The 12th month, there would be a balloon payment that they then finance again for another year to keep us in that
So you
lot.
do that
There's no
every year?
penalties, there's no, like,
So
and we can make bigger payments to it too. Like if we get the grant, we could put that down. But as I've kind of thought about it, I'm like, you know, a new truck does sound kind of nice, and if we took care of it, kept it nice, kept it maintained, it would last us for a long time. We would know the maintenance history of it, all those things.
So another thing you may wanna consider, and so back to, so constitutionally, you can't incur a debt over 1 year. And the banks know that, so there's always an out, and so that's
Yeah.
why the 1 year renewed annually. But all of the, Shelley, Blackfoot, Bingham County are going to leases. And the way those work is, so they have a 5-year rotation, and then the bank automatically buys those back for their new rotation. But then that 5-year-old truck or vehicle is getting them to the smaller communities, and then they do another lease for the smaller communities, and it may be such that you would get, you know, a 5 or 10-year-old one.
So
through
where do
that
you find
process.
those trucks though?
Well, so you'd have to get a hold of the leasing companies that are, so right now, Zions did a bunch of them, and then US Bancorp did a bunch of them. But if you wanna go look into that, as a smaller community, be on the, you know, the back end of a 5 or a 10-year lease, that may be a better option.
It seems like a lease would just,
Well, so then you would just roll through every 5 years. And that's what those are all going to, because from a cash flow or, you know, from a total cash out standpoint, that's better for them. And like I say, that's kind of the new trend rather than trying to buy it. So it's a smaller payment, you know, lease payment each month, but anyway, just another option.
Okay,
Interesting.
it's another option. So you can think that over. What's smart? And I am going to share this because it's not the first time I have encountered it. Basalt has a reputation out there for being kind of an old, crusty town. And when I went and spoke to the bank, like, he kind of chuckled, like, it's nice to see you here, kind of thing. And he was kind of surprised that somebody from Basalt was coming in to ask about purchasing a new vehicle. Just saying, it's not the first time I've come across that.
So like
I
old
think
and
that there
crusty,
is,
you mean like
you know,
run
like-
down?
Yeah. And we have lots of broken down things.
so part of the
Sitting around Basalt.
truck thing is Brian's been looking, you find something for like $20,000 and it's, you know, got a bunch of miles on it, and it's somebody's, we're kind of done with this, we're gonna sell it and update, so I kind of started looking a little bit, and I thought, why doesn't the city just finance a new one, and it would have it for 20, 30 years, whatever, take care of it. The new dump trailer that was just purchased, the current truck that we have really, I don't know if it really handled that at full
I
capacity.
mean, we knew we were gonna be looking at a different truck.
And so it's a safety thing, it's a reliability thing, it's a lot of those things.
Brian does go to water conferences in Boise, and I mean, he usually can catch rides, but if there's a time that he can't, you need a roadworthy vehicle.
You don't want to take the Flintstone truck?
Well,
Even
and it's
though,
more than that. I mean, yeah, I'm getting a reputation for being a Fred Flintstone, but and I don't mean her.
you know, or he
But
goes
it
to other
is the face
meetings.
of Basalt.
There
It
is
is.
a pride
That's
to
a
it
really good
too.
point.
If
Like-
I go to training,
And that's
in
why I
Aaron,
shared
or-
the bank kind of chuckling, like,
That's a
it's
good
not
point.
the first time that,
So the question
I
was,
hadn't
is
thought of that.
if we finance a new truck, where do the funds come from? And so I asked Robin, where can they come from? Can you explain that?
yeah, so, say if we did this way for 5 years, you'd have an $1,100 payment. Brian's going to be using it for general purpose, water, sewer, running out there, whatever. All three funds can make those payments to help.
So last year, the previous year, Larry spent, I don't know, what was it, almost $60,000 to have this chip seal out here. Part of the use of the truck and the dump trailer is to go get road patch stuff, bring it in, cut out the roads, start repairing roads, use Brady Anderson to help
try to
seal
do them
stuff
more correctly
and,
too.
and do a lot of it ourselves, and instead of paying out that money that we don't have, why don't we just take that money and put it into our own equipment?
And you
and
could
do it
also
ourselves.
say like 20,000 we could take and buy a nice truck. I'm just saying, like, think about
So a new truck is $60,000.
or more.
That's what a brand new would cost.
That was the old 2024 model that hasn't sold yet, is 60,000.
But you can buy one with 200,000 miles on it for, 30.
Seriously?
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
They're
Used prices
expensive.
are insane.
they're expensive.
Yeah.
And then it's like,
I had no
you see
idea
these
it was
trucks with plows on them now that they're selling, they've used for the cities, they got 150,000 miles, but it's been well used. So do we want to buy somebody's used?
Or you've
mostly
got,
wore out
like,
truck?
You can go to the older Chevys for 5,000 that somebody's replaced the motor in. I'm just saying, like, what are the consequences of all of these choices?
But
Think about
buying a new one, then you got warranty though.
So you buy a new one, you get a 3-year warranty, then you buy an extended warranty on top of that when that is expired, and you get 6, 7, 8 years out of that. But buy a new truck, generally they're in pretty good shape.
And leases.
You don't have to go
covers-
back and buy new tires. You don't have to go back and.
Are there
Do this and that,
limitations on the leases that you've seen?
As far as,
Like, you can only put so many miles on it.
most of them, like, so all the cops, those are all leases now. And obviously, there's no mileage restrictions on those.
We'll look into it.
And our accounts can handle that for 5 years? Like easily, or are we gonna be squeaking by, or, cause now,
So like this last
Since we
year's
just redid
budget, I had savings built in, maybe less savings would go in. Like I put in 19,000 into savings.
okay.
That was part of,
Oh, that's right, we
So
got
how
that
much- how
one
much
earning
interest are
interest
we-
too.
How much interest are we
so you
accruing
can give
every
me a
year?
quote on interest. Oh, how much interest are we accruing?
That
Yeah,
one
I
that
mean,
you,
So,
we,
didn't you say we're like $15,000 a year
Uh-huh.
on interest?
on general and sewer,
That's a
that
truck.
we've increased.
yeah, that's
Just
what I had
with the
forgotten we had
interest.
done that to get that.
So I had an idea also, we just talked about it just before the meeting, is we have a lot of water rights. We're gonna look into selling the
Leasing.
water,
Leasing.
selling the water.
Leasing the
leasing water, leasing it to create a revenue for the city of Basalt, because we have, from what I understand, quite a significant water rights that we don't use, but we can take the water that we don't use and lease it to somebody to generate a revenue for the city of Basalt. So we're gonna do that.
So that is instead of the city of Basalt rather than homeowners, or you're talking?
No, it's separate, it's
It's
different.
separate?
Yeah, mhm,
But it would help us in our water department.
yes. It would be, I think it'd be significant. I think it's a good idea.
Interesting.
So there's an extra revenue sitting there also potentially. So we're gonna look into that.
Okay.
Okay, and then one of the things that I also, so I'm starting to look at next year's budget, and Brian and I have been talking, and kind of going along with improving Basalt, coming up with an official logo for Basalt. I said we could put a contest out there that has a cash prize, and have our citizens submit their digital logo that we can put on a vehicle or letterheads or whatever.
I like that. That would really engage people, and I think that would be nice.
Put it on a sign.
We could
So
like
this
pick
is-
the favorite ones and have people vote on them maybe?
Yeah.
I like that idea.
And winner gets a cash prize of some amount.
It wouldn't have to be super fancy. I mean, Idaho Falls,
Oh, I'd
did
want
one
it
with the
simple.
falls, you know?
Right.
That's pretty.
No, I think that we probably got creative people out there that could do something pretty amazing. I like the idea.
And then the other thing is, does anybody disagree with having an AC installed in here? Like one of those Mr. Cool.
Look at me, I'm the one that
Mini
says it's
split.
hot in here.
That's a good one to get.
Yep.
I'd love AC, I'm not gonna lie, but I don't know how much it is.
It'd be 3,000 to install one.
Man, it sounds like a lot. Who bid that?
That's a deal.
That's the deal. I just put one in today for 14, so
Yeah, no, I looked up average cost and it is expensive.
it's a cost.
That's good.
Anybody against that?
I'm not opposed to it.
It's hot in here in the summertime.
It's really hot here.
I know you guys are
Comfortably
probably
so.
like, we're in here like
No, but you're in
3
here a
months
lot.
out of the season, but I'm in here quite often and it's,
I've been in here, it's really warm in here.
You
It
think
is
you
not
could
cool.
poke your head up there and see if there's actually much insulation up there sometime?
Yeah, that could.
Like,
We
I'm
usually have
thinking
a weed
there's
or
probably
two
that
growing on the
much.
walls. I was gonna tell you it's like a greenhouse in
I've been
here.
picking them.
Oh, have you been picking them?
I took the dead ones out the other day.
Yeah, technically we need a new building, but that's another story for
That's
another
a whole other
people.
option, yeah.
But there is money in building maintenance to cover it, so.
Okay,
I'm not opposed to it.
Okay.
let's move forward.
So there is water and sewer connection fees. I know we've talked about this before. This little resolution, I don't know why it was never numbered. That was not me. But it was never numbered. So 2 things in it. $1,000 to connect to our water, $1,000 to connect to our sewer. We've talked about pricing. This little survey I got today, this is the new updated one that tells all the cities what they charge for water, connection fees, all of those things. Brian needs to really pin down the cost of it to make sure we're
Core and
covered.
Main, I'm waiting for them, they
They're
said they'd
slow.
call me back.
The other thing that I noticed is in this resolution, you remember we did a new ordinance that did away with the interest on the security deposit.
And here it is again.
And here it is repeated in here, so do we need to fix that new ordinance, Garrett? And do we word it, like Brian had a good point, you could also say like it's $1,000 kind of like, I don't know how else to say it, but a privilege to connect into, and then the
So-
rest of the expenses on you.
So
But-
back to your first question, so no, because ordinance 130, so ordinance is a law.
Mhm.
Resolution is just the setting of the fees. So when we amended your ordinance to take that interest out, that automatically amends this resolution.
Okay,
Because
good.
that's the newest ordinance.
I happened to see that when I was looking for the fee costs, and I went, oh, okay. So,
But on your, so once you go through the System Associates thing and decide, where you think you should fall on your costs,
mhm,
I would assume you're gonna be way over 5%, you'll have to do a public hearing.
right.
So we do need, that's where.
I mean, currently, it's $1,000 plus the homeowner pays for the cost of the line. But, right, is that the way we've read it?
Yes, all
The homeowner does all the work.
Mhm.
So the $1,000 for the water and the 1,000 is just for the privilege of hooking on.
What about like
They
meter?
have to pay for all of that.
Meter? You put in a water meter?
I'm assuming that they would have to, pay the cost of having the meter there.
Basic $1,000 is just a permit.
And then with one of the sewer issues that happened recently to one of the people in the community, they had a sewer backup, his line was plugged, but his line, because of, we've talked about how crazy some of these sewer connections are, his line was 500 feet.
272 feet.
Oh, it was 272.
Away?
That's how long his sewer line is to attach to the nearest sewer.
So, do we need to also update that maybe there needs to be clean outs every so often?
I
The
think there
state
should
code's
be.
gonna require that.
Oh,
So that's just probably
So-
another line that before those codes came into place.
I'm sure it is an old line.
Yeah. So
What's
we
happened
have,
on that, can I interject there a minute? What's
Yes.
happened on that is that the plumbing code used to cover it to 5 feet out from the house, put your clean out there.
the DEQ said we got this out in the street and whatever, we come to the property line, and there was this no man's land that was the length of the line from just outside the house to the street, and which agency had that responsibility. Some years ago, a few years ago, they decided, and now the plumbing inspector, the state plumbing inspector, whatever, has taken that responsibility for that. And like Garrett said, the plumbing code says
So we don't really need to fix that either.
it doesn't hurt to reinforce it in your code, you know, or reference the plumbing code or whatever, but the state plumbing inspector now ostensibly does that inspection, and if you have a bend in it, that line anywhere, they gotta have a clean out. If it goes so much distance, like Garrett said, then the plumbing code says you've gotta have a clean out.
Okay.
So we have several that are way old. And they did end up putting a clean out about 100 foot so that it can be cleaned out. But there is this Catherine Nelson's property, it'll be the same thing. It's gonna be like 200 feet worth of sewer line that they're gonna have to install. So they would,
On that
Are
second.
they gonna have to extend the sewer line?
well, that,
So.
we've talked about that before, is that the city doesn't,
So that's not the city's responsibility.
it's not our, so it's up to them.
They have road repair on top of that. They have to do all the responsibility to put it back the way it was before they started.
And they're putting in.
So basically, it's,
House, it's gone.
it's their obligation to
Ready
put
for
that 200 feet of
Sewer.
sewer line to connect to us.
Yeah, they've been working on it since.
She lives there anymore.
One of the things I would recommend, putting in there for sewers, clean up on distances, whatever the state code is, add it to, it has what's called a bullhorn clean out. Now what that is, that's a double clean out sitting there, so this one goes this way, this one goes the other way, so it's like 200 feet from the house to the street, you have that in the middle, and that way they can clean out both directions, and it makes it a lot easier.
That's what they did over here.
They put a bullhorn in.
I would imagine that's probably required by state code now. I don't know that, but I assume, yeah.
Some states are way behind that, so I love, just.
So
Okay.
Okay, so
So the fee just to connect
It's $1,000.
is $1,000. Man, that seems excessive.
actually,
Compared to
that's
what?
we're one of
Like
the
the last
cheapest ones
time
in
we
the
did
state.
that, when I was doing construction stuff, it was nowhere near that.
Well, how many years ago was that?
It's been a while.
So like what, Shelley's like 7,000?
97.
Just for the
That's
train.
right.
9,700?
They just increased it
That's 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, all I know is yeah, $1,000, I was just gonna opine a little earlier, $1,000, you're underdoing it. Ultimately, I'm not saying do it now, but when you do your water facilities planning study, you will justify the fee that you charge. The three things you do is, there's a capacity replacement fee, so it's like, okay, we've used, we have capacity, but the capacity costs this much. The second thing we can look at, because a component of that fee is the buy-in fee. The system was put in 1990 or whatever, so basically you amortize all that, pipes were worth 75 years, and then when you come up with the value of that, estimated value of that system, the accounting value, and say, we also have to buy into it, because you didn't pay for this all along, the other people did. The third element of that is the actual physical connection fee, and that's, I think what Brian was saying, okay, are we selling them the meter? Yeah, we want to sell them the meter. They can put it in, or we can put it in. If we put it in, we're going to charge a fee to put that in, or we just sell them the meter. They have to buy our meter, because all the meters are the same type thing. And the same pieces apply to the sewer.
What you're saying
So
is
you
we
can break
should
that
talk to
connection
you.
fee into that. And you want to incorporate that in when you do your facilities planning study. If you're gonna raise it right now, raise it to using the chart, so you're close to something you feel good about. And some people may say that's way too much or whatever, but when they did Clifton's, their facilities planning study, a little town like you, right? I mean, and everybody says justify it, and this may, some people don't like this answer, but there are a lot of variables in this calculation. And I can justify mathematically in your study a connection fee on your water from 5,000 to 15,000. If you add all those elements up. There's interest rate, Do you give the new people credit for the grant that was put in, or do they not get credit for the grant, the term of the loan? I mean, all those things that go into an amortization calculation system. You know, what do we feel comfortable with? Well, you know, where do we want it to be? And the advice I generally provide local communities is, this is gonna change a little bit now, and Garrett probably has more, you know, the domestic exemption. I think they passed the legislation on the domestic exemption well. But the problem in Idaho has always been, for 20 years or more now, is that, and you're fortunate you have plenty of water rights, but a lot of cities don't. So we can't give you any water, but you can get approved right here in the county, and you can now grow houses instead of hay, and you can, you're half acre, you get water, you're all water 2 acres, because that's the zoning and all that kind of thing. So I look at that for water and sewer. The city wants to be the provider if you're gonna be in your city limits and in your impact area. You wanna be the provider, because you get to manage the growth that way. You get to manage what things look like because those are the 2 elements that the people need. You gotta have water and sewer. So if it costs 10 grand to put in a septic system, I wanna be the connection to the city, I wanna be at 8,500 or something like that. I'm a little better deal than if you do it on your own. And the same with the water. What's the well? Well, the well's gonna cost you $24,000 or $32,000. Well, our connection, I'm not saying the connection fee would be that high, but you wanna say, we want, if you're gonna go next to our city, we want you to connect to our city so that we can manage the development. And one of the incentives is, it's cheaper for the developer to connect in, to have the people connect in the city than have them do it on their own. Because rural developments, some reason we as the public don't seem to factor in the cost of the septic tank and the well when we look at building in the country, right? So the lot cost me now it's $120,000 for that 2 acres, and my house is gonna cost me, $400,000 or whatever I look at it. And yeah, I know I gotta put this well in, this septic in, and that dang city, you see those impact fees? I mean, what they're charging me for that? It's gonna cost me $1,000 for that. That well's gonna cost you $30,000, right? And somehow people don't make that comparison. Anyway, when we do your facilities plans, they will incorporate all the justification in it for the fee you end up charging. In the meantime, do an intermediate step.
Okay.
That sound reasonable?
Yeah.
Fair enough.
I don't want to be advised of something you shouldn't be doing.
Okay.
I figured you'd tell me if I was like, hey, you can do that, it's not legal.
Oh, the other thing I forgot to mention was we did purchase some signs, some street signs that we will slowly start working on. Cause I drove around your little bend and I'm like, you can't even read that sign. That's 650.
It'll take us a little while to get to that corner.
Yeah. But we're gonna slowly start putting some new signs up.
The first ones will be the 4-way stops here. Those will be new. And the 800 North sign out there on all the signposts.
So they give us a better deal if we buy the same number, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we get the same numbers and.
So yeah, you buy
Agreed.
more than 5 at a time, then you get a discount. So starting with one number. I'll go.
Smart.
It'll take us a while. But it's steps.
Only do the ones you have to, because when we get the construction money, the next one we'll do signs.
Right.
And you'll get,
Well, we're not gonna spend a ton of money at it.
then you do all the signs, you'll get the 15,000.
No, I worked
to sign.
I weaseled every little discount I could out of it.
Yeah.
Sign
But some of them
Yeah,
are
the signs-
really, really
yeah, we do
bad.
the sign
I'm
grant
saying.
with LTAC, we'll get
I think I'm in my mind.
15,000 to do all the signs
Yeah,
in
you
town.
said that.
I'm really gonna go, I
Or
got
is it
another
Saturday?
package this week, so
Or they-
I think I'm gonna go down and talk to them about it.
Stop signs were $55 a piece.
Okay.
If I bought 4.
So, we didn't do this one
So
yet,
you got one on the wall in the
but
bedroom?
he's not here.
No.
Oh, you're not in college anymore.
So this was brought up last month, the stop sign at 810 and 675. But he's not here. How would you guys feel if we put in another stop sign on this road?
Which one? I mean,
This next
810?
intersection down.
Where Hal's,
Oh, by Hal's property on the corner there, between Hal's and Larry?
We had one there.
How would you feel about
There
it?
used to be one there.
I don't like the idea.
What'd you say, Pam?
I don't like the idea.
I don't
You know.
either, yeah. I
If you
wish-
put one there, then you're gonna have to put one, I mean, people
At
coming
every
faster
city.
this way than that way.
Yeah,
There used to be one there, and
And that
Simpkins was constantly calling because people ran it.
And that was to control people's because people couldn't keep their kids off the street. And I just think,
I just
I
remember
think
everybody hated that one so bad, we took it out.
one way or the other, all north, south, or all east, west, so.
Oh, we just put a speed bump there.
No.
That's your
they can go
Slow
faster.
down.
We can't do speed bumps.
Why?
The
Because
state
the
said we
state
can't.
says we can't.
Brian doesn't want to do it.
You can't fly.
We have to do levees.
Oh, 'cause you
They're a 5 foot, like
but
what they did in
five?
front of your dad's place.
Oh.
Okay.
I was already told about that.
That's wearing down though. He doesn't
Smooth
want
down.
to quite as much.
Okay, let's move along. We wanna talk
High
about,
patch.
we wanna talk about ditches, care and maintenance. So we just wanna remind the community that the ditches are the people's responsibility, not the city's, unless it goes underneath the street and, other than that. And if you're gonna
Clean it,
modify, we've had some people recently modify ditches and do stuff and you need to talk to your neighbors before Daryl is having an issue
Yeah.
with
I
water,
was
so
gonna
you
bring
need to
that
talk
up.
to Daryl and
Yeah.
fix that problem.
Can't
It
get
has to be fixed.
We can't get water because of that head gate of yours. It won't, and the water won't
Whatever
come.
So-
you did over there, you can't get water over
Yeah,
there.
the Mitchells aren't getting any water,
So that's
and they want it, and they can't get to it.
Alright.
And I trust Daryl to know what's
But you're
going
not the
on,
only
so-
one.
No, you're
It's
definitely
been-
not the
Yeah,
only
because
one.
the water level is exactly, it's going out, but the gate to
So-
stop it is having problems with the,
So we're not here to talk about the water problems.
Yeah.
So that's the ditch problem, that's
Yes,
the
it's a
neighbor's
ditch problem.
problem. Everybody on the ditch line is responsible for that. We had a neighbor, so I had to go clean our ditch because it was backing up. So that's my problem, not the city's problem. So don't call Brian.
Or walking in.
We're willing to help.
Yeah, we are. I
It's-
think so.
One thing that could really just help is I go up to Jack Mitchell's, all the places in the canal. They just have a rope that hangs down in the canal to catch a bunch of the debris. That's a simple solution to keep the debris from going under. Because we've had it clog at our house, and Daryl had to get out and take a log or something and clean it out. So that, or get something that'll just catch the debris that comes in. Because every spring, there's going to be a ton of debris. I cleaned out stuff the other day. Some kids' balls, a ton of them come down.
Snake
So
Rivers
I
had put a
would-
screen up.
Cleaned them out.
Yeah.
So I pulled out fence pickets.
Yeah, I'm not
on the
surprised.
culvert there.
People don't think about it, and and it's like the mayor said, it's all on us, and we need to talk to our neighbors and be good stewards of the water.
So something that might be kind of nice is a Facebook page again, just to remind everybody in the spring, hey, it's time to clean up your ditch, burn your weeds, make sure stuff's out of there. Be considerate of your people down the road there. So
And I just want to point out that I think some of this is arisen because Guy's not here.
Yeah.
Guy used both sides of this town, the ditches, and so he did a lot of everybody's work. Believe it or not,
He did.
he was out there cleaning everybody's ditches.
He
so
did it all the
could-
time.
So Guy's not here to clean everybody's ditches out. So,
That's true.
and
Okay.
so
Oh,
Kyle's not here.
Kyle's not here.
yeah, we still have a dog problem. I'm just bringing it up because I told people I would bring it up. It's some people's dogs in town keep running loose and getting into other people's yards. And that's something we need to keep reminding people,
Okay.
because we're getting a lot of complaints on that. And,
Okay.
yeah, I don't know.
Maybe gotta go.
Okay.
Animal control was in town the other day.
Well, I told this person I would bring it up, and I found out tonight the dog did it again, so I'm
Well, you have to call dispatch.
bringing it up because I told him I would bring it up.
So in case people here don't
He
know.
wants to deal with them.
We have an animal control officer now.
You what?
We now, we
have another
animal control officer.
So there's a new one,
Okay.
here's, she or he
She,
was in town yesterday. driving.
Paul, she knows the whole county.
Okay.
So, one more thing I just thought I'd mention real quick. Kit Saxton kicked a can, he died. And he did overdose of drugs, I think.
Oh,
So I called his mom, I got her phone number. They're dealing with the property and I offered to put together a group of people for a community service to clean up the property if she asks. So I'm prepared to go help clean up and move stuff, and we got a group of volunteers. That's why I'd like the Facebook page also, is to say, hey, people need help down the road, let's get together and help make this happen. And so anyways, this is
Is his daughter okay?
Mhm.
Is his daughter okay?
I don't think she lives there.
She doesn't, but I'm just, she's pretty young still.
Oh, I
Anyways.
thought he said she was like 18 now.
Yeah, but that's not that old to be losing a parent.
True.
I mean, even if he's
I don't know what
not
kind of
the best
relation.
parent.
All right.
Okay, I think that's it.
Anybody else have anything else other than Kenny? I don't know.
All right, is the county still gonna come in and spray that noxious poison?
No clue. I don't know.
mosquito?
Yeah,
Catch them
because-
when they come
Is
by.
that what you said?
Yeah.
Because, I mean, it's,
I think so.
I guarantee
It's
it.
a contract.
they come through, they spray, they kill all the mosquito hawks, which kill mosquitoes, they kill the dragonflies, which kill mosquitoes and larvae. They kill the praying mantis, and they leave a film on the food that people are growing.
They haven't killed my praying mantises yet.
That's-
I have a healthy
I
supply.
think
of them.
dragonflies,
What?
yeah.
And you're gonna have to fight the county on that, because the county came together.
Yeah, it'll be
It's a contract
That's,
that they have.
it's a contract, and you're gonna get,
The city.
you're gonna have a big fight on your hands for that one.
This is the mosquito abatement?
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah, people would prefer to wash their vegetables.
well, thing is, they washing vegetables doesn't do anything, because once it's on the vegetables, it's in vegetables.
Okay,
You just have to
did you
cover
need
your
to
garden.
say
You
anything?
guys have
No, okay.
You just came for your
Anybody else?
entertainment.
Oh, no, just.
No?
Just come
No?
see what's going on.
Okay,
Let them all know.
Somebody has to
I
make a
motion
motion.
to, I can't remember.
Adjourn.
Adjourn.
Thank you. My brain went completely blank. I motion to adjourn.
I second it.
all in favor? Okay, thanks.